So who pays for you to be in this system? Who pays for all those medical bills that are stacking up? Who pays for part of your care to be able to get healthy? Insurance and Medicare. So if we look at this, so if here, over here is death, and that's 0%, and 100% over here is life, we know that here at 60%, this is where insurance allows us to be. And how do we know that? Because for you to ever experience that first symptom, whether it be a headache or a low back pain or high blood pressure or even that neck pain, before you experience any of those first symptoms, you have to lose 40% function in your body for this to ever show up. For you to take that medication, 40% loss of function has to occur. So that's why insurance is like, okay, here's a medication, but does that medication ever get you closer to 100%? No. It just covers up the symptom. It's like putting duct tape over your oil light. It comes on, you're like, oh, not going to deal with it right now. That's what you're doing when you put that medication in your body and it covers up that symptom. It's not moving you any closer to health. In fact, you're slowly drifting in this direction. So does insurance ever pay for you to go from 60 to 100? Do they pay for your gym memberships? Do they pay for you to go shopping at Whole Foods or for you to put a water filtration system in your house? No, they don't. So ultimately, whose responsibility is to take care of your health? Yeah, it's your own. So when we look at this chart right here, what controls all function and all healing in your body? Yeah, your nervous system. Your brain controls everything. It's the master controller. It sends messages directly down your spinal cord and out the nerves to every cell, tissue, organ, muscle, and gland, 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. It runs your body without you ever having to think about it. Now that's how amazing that power is inside of you. If we actually take this nerve and we cut the nerve that goes to the heart, what happens to your heart? Yeah, it dies. So then if we put pressure on this nerve that's going to the pancreas, is that pancreas going to work better or worse? Worse. So now you have problems with your insulin being regulated because that's what your pancreas does. What is that called? Diabetes. So how many people do you know that suffer with these conditions? Diabetes, digestive disorders, high blood pressure. How many of you know people that are suffering with all those things? How many of them have ever had their nervous system checked? How many times have you gone to the doctor and you went for your checkup? How many times did they check your nervous system? Because if you want to know if you're healthy or not, what's the one place that you're going to check? Your nervous system. So every time that you've taken your child in for a checkup, or every time you've taken him in and he has an ear infection, he has swollen glands, did they ever check the nerves that are going to his ears or to those glands? It makes sense that they would, but they didn't. So that's why we have to keep our nervous system functioning at 100%. Because if I get a virus and my body's working at 100%, my nervous system's at 100%, what is it going to do? Yeah, it's going to find it, it's going to attack it, and it's going to destroy it and get it out of my body. And I'm going to be healing at 100%. That's why it's so important that we look at your spine to make sure that you are in proper alignment, allowing that nervous system to function the way that you were designed to be. So is that just some belief that I have, or is that a fact? That's how your body works. Your brain controls everything. All right? But before we can actually take care of our health, you have to know what exactly it means. So what's the definition of health? Okay. So, yeah, feeling good, so being able to do what you want. So, feeling good and being able to do all the things that you want to do. It's actually quite simple. If you guys remember Lance Armstrong, 7-time Tour de France winner, he is one of the most in-shape top athletes out there, so not many of us exercise like him. Do you think that he ate good? Absolutely. Do you think he felt good while he was doing everything that he was doing? Yeah, exactly. But yet, he still ended up getting what? Cancer. So what supersedes eating right, feeling good, and exercising? yeah, that's something more, and that's actually in the Word, and it's how you're healing. So your body has to be healing at 100% for your body to be healthy, and that's what we're looking at tonight. So we're going to be going over what the 3 things that we're going to be looking at in your x-rays. So when we go back to look at your x-rays, your spine needs to be straight from the front to back. You're going to have 3 curves. You're going to have a 45-degree curve here, 45 here, and a 35 here. So, and then this top bone right here should be sitting at 18 degrees up. And that allows, it's so close to your brainstem, it has to be there, or else it's putting pressure onto the brainstem. How many of you remember Christopher Reeves? Yeah, Superman, right? Well, so you all know the story that he fell off his horse and he bumped his chin, and that top bone actually shifted, and it was just a quarter of an inch into his brainstem, and the entire damage onto his brainstem actually could be covered up by the width of my pinky. So if I did this, that would cover up the damage. But with that little damage, what happened to him anyways? He ended up paralyzed from the neck down. So he had a pacemaker, he had a machine that helped him breathe, he had someone that had to come in and pretty much push his food through his intestines to get it out of him. And that happened every single day until the day he died. So that's how important that little bone is up there. So we got to make sure that that it's sitting at 18 degrees. So now we're going to go into x-rays so you can have a better understanding of what's going on. So this first x-ray that I'm putting up of is of Preston. Now, Preston had been to the chiropractor about a year ago for his allergies, but his mom decided that she wasn't going to start care because she was going to wait for a better time. She was just way too busy. She said, I'll come in a few months when I'm not consumed with everything that's going on. Soccer season had just started. She was doing dance recitals and karate lessons, so she was a busy mom. And I'm sure a few of you can relate to her, and it just felt like she just couldn't put more time into the day to get him to his appointments. But and then she also figured that the prescription that Preston's pediatrician had given him for the allergies would actually take care of his problem. But how many of you think or believe wholeheartedly that Preston's allergies were a cause or a lack of Zyrtec in his body? Yeah, no, none of us, because we know that's not true. And if you don't take care of a problem, does it get better or does it get worse? Every single time. So we fast forward a year, and now Preston is diagnosed with ADHD. In addition to his allergy medication, he's on 3 mind-altering medications. He's on Adderall, he's on Dexedrine, he's on Wellbutrin. For those of you who don't know medications, that's 2 of those are legalized meth, and that 3rd one is an adult antidepressant. That's 3 medications in addition to that allergy medication. That's 4 medications that are sedating that poor little boy. If you can imagine what a 9-year-old on those 4 medications looks like sitting at school, he's now getting D's and F's, and he's pretty much a little zombie. Now, if that's your child, how do you think that's going to make you feel? How do you think that little boy's self-esteem is? He can't even do well in school, and he can't do anything about it. Well, thank God his teacher is one of our patients, and she got him into our office. So she gets him into our office, and if you look at this, he's at 12 out of 45 degrees, and this is at 5 out of 18. So what we just went over, is he healthy or is he sick? Yeah, he's sick. No wonder he has allergies. These nerves that are coming out right here that are going to his lungs, they're being choked off. This bone right here that's supposed to be at 18, it's at 5. That's 13 degrees of crushing pressure on his brainstem. How is he supposed to be sitting in class when he has that much pressure on his brain? You can't sit still. That's why he has the ADHD. But instead of fixing the problem, finding the problem, correcting it, no, they just drugged him. And it wasn't just 1 medication, it wasn't 2 medications, it's 3 medications later, and still they haven't corrected his problem. So finally his mom decides, all right, I'm going to commit the time, and she gets him to his appointment. That's 3 times a week for 60 days. That's the initial healing process that is needed to get the spine moving in the proper position. So then We look at this next x-ray, his 60-day re-exam, and what do you see? Is he healthy or is he sick? He's healthy. We have that 45-degree curve back in there. That pressure off of the nerves going to his lungs is gone. He's right here at 18 out of 18. That means that there is no pressure on his brainstem. So now he has no more allergies. He has no more ADHD. He's off of all his medications, and now he's actually doing really good in school. He's at A's and B's. But more importantly, guys, his mom has her little boy back. He's no longer a zombie. But if we hadn't gotten him into the office, how many more medications would they have added to his list? If you find a problem, you correct it now because it's only going to get worse with time. And you make the time for what's important.